Hey everyone, welcome and welcome back to my channel once again. This is your friend Abhishek, but not a financial advisor. And today we are going to talk about that one growth stock which I recently bought, took an advantage of the current market sentiment, and the name is Pinterest. Yes, like the title of the video says, nothing different. Then why this video? Because I bought it. Well, this video is to help you guys to make your own due diligence. That's important. Please do that, okay? I'm not here to give you an advice of what to buy, what to sell, this business or any other business. Just here to help you guys, to give you guys my opinion on a particular business. And for this video, it's Pinterest. So let's get started. So guys, first thing first, I would like to clarify and summarize what actually happened with Pinterest, that it fell down from its all-time highs of $90, lost a market value of around 60 to 70%, and came down all the way to $25, $26 where it is sitting right now. Yeah. So the first reason behind that is the current market sentiment, which I've been talking about since few months already, guys. The current market sentiment is not in favor of the growth stocks, and any small bad news will be amplified, yeah, and it will affect the stock in an amplified way, in a negative way. That's the first reason. The second reason is a very important key metric which drives these social networking businesses is not that good for Pinterest, which we'll get onto in a few moments. The third reason is the rumor which was spread out last year that PayPal might be overtaking Pinterest, which resulted in a bigger sell-off as well. And the fourth reason is the change in the management, which is a lot into discussion since last few months. Yeah. Now guys, let's talk about this important key metric which I just mentioned, which is not doing so well, underperforming, and in fact it has been declining since last few quarters, and that is the monthly active user. Yes guys, the monthly active users has been declining for Pinterest since last few quarters, and that's why the EPS target by the analysts was lowered down for the upcoming quarter as well. But does that worry me? No, not at all, because like I said, this is just one of the important key metrics or the variables driving such type of businesses. That means social networking businesses. But anyway, so there are two important key metrics. The first one we just discussed, the monthly active users, and the second one is the average revenue per user. Yes, which we'll get onto. We'll get onto these numbers from both of these variables in a moment. But the important thing is that this key metric of monthly active users falling down worries me. No, guys. Happened with Twitter as well. In 2018, their monthly active users declined like hell. Then it became constant, it became stagnant, consolidated, picked up again. Same happened with Snapchat. Forget those. The giant meta platforms. If you checked their recent earnings report, their monthly active users also declined a bit. Now guys, does this mean that their revenue will stop or these companies will go out of business? No, not at all. It doesn't happen overnight. Neither I'm saying, guys, to just keep a blindfold and ignore these numbers. No, I'm not saying that. No, 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 no. I'm just telling you guys my opinion that what can happen. I don't think that Pinterest will not work on these monthly active user base and this will just keep on declining. No, if it becomes steady, that's enough. And I think in the upcoming quarters, they have released in the earnings report, they're working on it, and I will analyze. And that's what the earnings report are for, guys. We have to look into the quarterly reports, we have to analyze them, we have to analyze these numbers. I'm not asking you guys to ignore them, I'm not asking you guys for anything. This is just my personal opinion. That's why I bought into this business, because I do think that this will not keep happening. This decline will not keep happening. They just have to become steady. That's it. If the decline stops, that's enough. That's enough. They have a revenue growth. That's all we need to know. We need to know that, okay, if one metric is failing, but is the other metric helping or let's say balancing it out? And all we have to see is if the business is growing after all. That's it. That's all we have to see. And Pinterest, yes, it is growing. Anyways, we will see the numbers anyway. So that's what I wanted to let you guys know, that this is my opinion. This was just a summary, what happened and what is going to happen or might happen with this business. But I'm interested in this business. So now, before we jump onto the fundamentals, let's have a quick look. I don't want to make this video too long. I just want to keep it crisp and informative. So now let's have a quick look at these numbers from both the variables and how much was the growth and everything. Okay, so Let's get on to it. So guys, let's have a quick look at these numbers from the recent quarterly report. So analysts expected an earnings per share of $0.45 and a revenue of $827 million. But of course, Pinterest crushed these numbers by reporting an earnings per share of $0.49, which was a 9% beat. Now, is this really huge for me? No, it's not. And it doesn't matter to me so much. For many retail investors, it's a good and positive trigger who are trading, but I'm not trading this company. I'm buying and investing this into this business. So for me, this doesn't matter so much because I know that one of their key metrics is failing. So what matters to me is right here. Overall quarterly revenue grew by 20% year over year. And this is what I was talking about, guys, that yes, one of the most important key metrics is failing. But first of all, that's not the only key metric which is driving this business. Okay, that's not the only variable which is driving the revenue of the business. So, if one important key metric is failing, does that mean that we should overlook the whole business? No, because the overall business is still growing. And that's what matters. Yes. So, overall business is growing, and this is what we should consider. Yes, we should not overlook that one of the key metrics is failing because ultimately that is driving the fundamentals of the business as well. But for now, it's not affecting that much, okay? And that's what matters to me at least. So anyways, now let's have a look at their MAU numbers, which have really put the business and the stock price in a hot water. So we can see from US, and I do see that with the new management, they are working on these numbers, and I don't expect that, okay, these numbers will improve drastically in the coming quarters, but I do expect that the decline will stop, if not incline. And now here we are on the positive side of this video, okay, and on the positive side of the business. So here is the metric, the average revenue per user, and this metric measures how much revenue each user generates for Pinterest and is the primary driver of revenue growth once new customers are exhausted. Okay, once the new customers are exhausted, keep this in mind. This is quite important to know that once the new customers are exhausted, one, their monthly average user base is declining when they are not getting any new customers, then ARPU plays a very important role. Of course, they cannot just keep on increasing the price for the old customers as well, because this is quite exhausting as well for the advertisers also. So they can only increase so much, but still this table right here shows how Pinterest is improving its advertising and its e-commerce listing business. So for the US region, 25% year over year growth. For international, 62%, massive. And globally, 23%, guys. So this tells me that if Pinterest can really stabilize its user base and grow its ARPU, trust me, the stock is just waiting to explode. Anyways, so moving on. Okay, guys, so here we are now to discuss some fundamentals of the business, and I won't go in too deep because, like I said, I want to keep this video as short as possible and crisp and as informative as possible. So now let's get on to some key ratios to know all the important bits and pieces of the business. So here we are on the profitability, and here we can see the free cash flow margin is sitting at 28.85%, guys, which is incredibly high, and that is what makes me actually invest into this business, because now I'm looking into all profitable businesses, and with really amazing margin, with the free cash flow margin, this business makes it to my list of investments. Now we have free cash flow as percentage of earnings, which is also 235%, which is amazing. It's not sustainable though, but still good to see that. Gross margin is sitting at 70.47% because the company just became profitable. I think such a high margin is also not that common to see, but yes, I would be glad if even if they can maintain a margin of 30 to 40%, but 79.47% is, yeah, too high, but yeah, of course it's good. Now the operating margin is, yes, average, because 12.66% is okay. I would like to see, like I said, that if they would have to work on their margins, operating margin would be one of them. And I would like to see an operating margin of 15%, over 15%. If you are a regular viewer of my channel, I am always considering businesses which are having an operating margin above 15%. Of course, when I'm investing into value businesses, yeah, or let's say in this case, growth business as well. Now, these percentages are more pointing us towards the growth of the company. So we can see that the free cash flow increasing quarter over quarter is 6,000%. Yeah, and the free cash flow per share has been increasing by 6,000%. Again, guys, like I said, these percentages are like really high and these are not sustainable. But of course, it's good to see that the business is growing, and this is what I have been telling you guys, that business is growing. Free cash flow is growing, business is profitable, and that's what matters to me, at least, only, yeah, in my opinion. So book value is increasing 35.51%, which also gives me a positive feeling about their balance sheet and financial health. Tangible book value has been also increasing by 33%, which is good. Yeah, I don't consider intangible value, and that brings us to financial health of the business. So current ratio is sitting at 12.25, which is super high, incredibly good. Anything above 1 and 2 is perfect, but this is 12. And also we can see here that the goodwill and intangible assets from this current ratio is just at 1.73%. So the goodwill and intangible assets are just 1.73% of their total assets, which is again a really good thing, because honestly, I don't consider goodwill and intangible assets as any assets, because they are simply intangible. Yeah, the business cannot liquidate it in case if the business have a financial crisis. So as you can see that the business has a good financial health, and that is why the balance sheet is also pretty good. And as we can also see that the management is not doing that bad, because ROIC is 19.87%. Anything above 15% is good for me, honestly, in my opinion. And this means that the management is putting their free cash flow somewhere where they are, especially in such market situations, they are getting a 19% ROI on their investments. So that means the management is doing something really good, which also is an important factor, in my opinion, to consider. So as we can see, we have many green flags, and this is what is making me more confident about this business, and that's why I have invested myself into this business. Now, let's to give you guys a much more better and a crisp outlook, I just want to show you guys a small comparison of Pinterest with its competitors like Twitter and Snapchat. So here we are on the comparison window, and I will just compare the net income of Twitter and Snapchat. And as we can see right here, that in the trailing 12-month period, only Pinterest is the one whose net income has been increasing steadily. Yes, net income of Snapchat has also been increasing, but Pinterest has a higher rate of net income than both of its competitors, as you can see, and Twitter has been declining. And also, this is just trailing 12-month period, and if we just have a look at the yearly performance, we can see Pinterest again wins the race. And that is why I have, guys, picked up Pinterest, because I can see that the business has potential, and it had a really hard hit because of rumors and, yes, some shady outlooks and investors not showing enough confidence, the current market situation. But I do think that as soon as these dark clouds will fade away, the company and the business will have enough room to grow, and so will the stock price. So that's it, guys. That's all from the fundamental side of view. Like I said, I don't want to stretch this video too long. So now let's get on to the technical analysis to know and to see why I bought at this current price of $25 and $24 range, because I do think that this is a good price to buy, but that's just my personal opinion. So let's have a look at the technical side of the stock. Okay, guys, so here we are on the daily chart of Pinterest, and as we can see that almost since July 2021 we are in this downward bearish trend in this parallel channel what we are following since last year. And that's why I don't think that any bullish sign right here on the daily pattern, like triple bottom, double bottom, whatever, or inverted hammer will give us a breakthrough of this through this channel, because you can see that we have not even crossed this average midline, yeah, since many months. So I don't think that any bullish pattern matters here, and that's why I'm not digging deeper into technical analysis, because it also doesn't matter to me, because I'm not trading this stock, I'm investing into this business, so it doesn't matter for me. All I wanted is to find a buying price, and I do think that we have a buying price right here. So if I just zoom out, so we can see that's why I bought at this price right here, because I do think we in the history it acted as a support. Yeah, of course, in such economic times I cannot really consider any strong support or something like that at any price, to be honest. It can fall further, but I do think that at these levels it will just start consolidating, because the reason behind is that because all the bad news has just
is just gone. The rumor has passed on last year, finished. The management has already changed. There has been no recent sell-off on the from the insiders, and yeah, also the earnings report came out. We all knew that the first quarter report will be bad. So all these news has just passed on. Yeah, of course, the Fed will play an important role as well, but I do think that Fed will come out with the good news. I mean, that's my personal opinion. But anyways, so this is why I have jumped into this stock, but also keeping in mind that it can fall further. I have not invested more than 50% of my target amount in Pinterest, and I would be happy to add more if it falls down further. But anyways, this is not any financial advice, guys. This is just my idea, my opinion, and my price which I have bought into this company. So that's it, guys. That's all I wanted to show you from the technical point of view.
So guys, that's it. I just wanted to give you guys my opinion, and just to summarize this all, I do see a huge growth potential in this business if they just can become steady with their monthly active user base, and if they just keep on growing at the same rate of 15 to 25% year over year with the current margins. Of course, they have to improve on their margins, but even with these current margins and with the forward price to earnings ratio of 18 to 20, which I'm evaluating this business at right now, I do see an upside potential of 30 to 40%, guys. So that's it, guys. That's all for now. I will see you in the next one. Until then, stay safe, stay healthy, and ciao.